Today we are actually getting together to talk about the SBA 504 Refinance Program, some of the benefits, some of the guidelines. And I have today Kurt Chambliss with TMC Financing. We got a chance to be fast friends on our first conversation, and I wanted to bring him back because there was so much value and we didn't have enough time. So I wanted to get a chance to dive back into it again. And Kurt, if you're there, if you can hear me, please jump right in. Thanks for being in. We'll probably put some post applause at the end or something, right?
I'm here. Great to be here. Great to be with you again.
Absolutely. One of the things that I guess just right before we jump into the SBA refinance program, I wanted to at least touch on our last conversation. Thank you so much for being gracious with your time today and even on the last conversation. It was super beneficial. A lot of our clients, again, a lot of benefit from it. And I wanted to let you know that and kind of give you that earnest feedback too. I value our relationship as well. It's been a tremendous year, and I look forward to working together in the future. And I guess some of the things that I noticed and I was just looking at when I was kind of going back and watching the video was some of the similarities that I saw just in our passion on what we're doing. And I think that stood out more than anything more to me. I did, of course, look at just some of the things that we could look at from a general takeaway, if you will, from our previous conversation. And one of the things that I thought about was just kind of segmented or breaking this up and even allowing it to be available as maybe like a free download. I took five good takeaways from it.
Okay, great.
All right, benefits of owning your own space and being your own landlord and having your business work for you, right? So those five are just lowering your costs, right, for the fixed mortgage. You know, you're making the payments anyway. Using the investment, of course, as a retirement asset, right, and generating rental income right now, right? Super benefit. You can customize the facility, and of course, leveraging your tax advantages and depreciation of the interest, right? So I wanted to make sure that those were kind of poignant points, and from there, I thought that was brilliant, and I want to now dive into our new topic.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah, those are great points. And to I guess dovetail onto one of the points you made, we are passionate about helping small businesses. Everybody talks about, oh, small businesses are the lifeblood of the economy and they're so important. But what's being done to help these small businesses? And the SBA 504 program is helping small businesses dramatically. And if we could, the SBA and partnering with private banks can fix occupancy costs for these small businesses so that they don't get big rental, that the landlord doesn't keep on raising the rent, or they just be able to, let's say you're a restaurant and you know that space is critical to you. You don't want the landlord to have to kick you out and you have to find a new space. That's going to really disrupt your business. So location is really important for many small businesses and fixing their occupancy costs. So we can help with the 504 program to do just that.
100%. So, and it was funny when we kind of dived into it, I knew we were going to need a segment dedicated just to refinance, because I think a lot of people didn't even know it existed, that was unaware that it was even a capability, especially if you weren't already in a 504, especially, right? Or even thought about cash out, or if you're in another SBA product. Can you speak to some of those things as well?
There have been a variety of refinance programs available. And I'll just say it's a bit confusing or can be overwhelming to a business owner or a lender or somebody that's helping small businesses, because the programs change and they sometimes get easier, sometimes get harder, but they just constantly seem to be changing and moving around. So I guess number one, make sure you talk with an expert in your area. It could be TMC, it could be another certified development company. But get connected with somebody that really knows the program and what can be offered. But the exciting news that's come out somewhat recently is the fact that through the SBA 504 program, we're now expanded what we can refinance. There were some ways to do it before, but let's just start with now and what we can do now. So if a small business owner has had a conventional loan or any type of loan on their owner occupied building for at least 6 months, then we could look to refinance that loan. So that's, and it can be now, it can be a conventional loan, like no government backing on it, just like a regular loan from a bank or private lender. It could be an SBA 7A loan, and it could be an SBA 504 loan. It could be a USDA loan. No matter what the type of loan on there, there's a good chance that we can look to refinance it as long as it's been in place for at least 6 months.
That is amazing. That is a game changer.
It really is. Yeah, especially a lot of people use the SBA 7A loan to acquire a building. Sometimes some lenders are more comfortable giving a 7A loan at for a variety of different reasons, but it's not always the best long-term loan, because oftentimes it's an adjustable rate loan, and eventually the prime rate is going to be going up, and then therefore the monthly payments are going to be going up. So people that have the SBA 7A loans, because they, for one reason or another, that's what they have, it is a game changer to be able to convert that into more fixed rate financing. Wow.
So one thing that stands out, because again, game changer, are there any, because I think about some of, immediately stories come to my mind, right? Individual entities I'm thinking about. I think about that specialty market a lot, right? Hotels, B&Bs, Airbnb, they're taking some tremendous, they're having to do some tremendous maneuvering, it's probably a better way, right, of wording it, to try to maneuver around the market and some of our COVID things that we can't talk about a lot. But what do you can you speak to that too in specialty markets specifically, and if there are any differences at all in our approach for 504?
Sure. Yeah. I think we call it in SBA speak special purpose properties. So special purpose properties such as gas stations, hotels, assisted living facilities, a winery. There's a long list of what SBA considers to be special purpose properties, which in general is just harder to get financing. The conventional lenders, they're just not always as eager to do those types of properties. And therefore, oftentimes they do end up in an SBA 7A loan, which is that adjustable, oftentimes adjustable rate loan. And if we can really benefit those guys from converting. But I might want to back up just a step before we get into some of the details of the different programs and kind of what we can do. One important thing to mention is that 85% of the original loan that we're looking to refinance had to have been used for an SBA eligible asset.
Okay.
And that's, it's just an important, so like, because there's a lot of 7A loans out there. There's a lot of other loans. There are a lot of other things that are secured, but we can't do them all. The original loan, at least 85% had to be used for a 504 asset. And I should probably describe what a 504 asset is. A 504 asset is 99% of the time a building. You can include equipment and some other FF&E, but for the most part, easiest to think about 504 is for the building. And now to your point, on let's say a gas station, sometimes when somebody buys a gas station, they are buying the building and the real estate, but they're also sometimes buying the business. And if that original SBA 7A loan was 80% for the real estate and building, and 20% for the business that the guy wanted to buy, the business value, well, then we're not hitting our requirement, and we would not be able to refinance that loan.
Got it. Okay. Okay. And it's good to know that too, right? But I wanted to at least address it, because I'm seeing more now, these brands are creating different hybrid models, right? When, you want your online presence to be amazing, but you still want to create foot traffic, but you may not necessarily need that facility. It's just interesting to see the dynamics as business changes, right? And hopefully some of our lending guidelines kind of, I feel like this is a step in the right direction, so to speak, in terms of our lenders catching up to what the market's in reality. So
yeah, good point.
So
So special purpose is a good one, but really any business that owns their building now and has a loan on it could really benefit and should at least consider refinancing it. Rates are still historically low, and
That's true.
whether it was a 7A loan or a conventional loan, or we're even looking to refinance some of our own portfolio because they got a loan 5 or 6 years ago, and the rates are higher, and we can now convert those into today's lower rates, which is really. And the other thing, we can, if the customer wants, extend out the amortization and the term for another 25 years, which even if the rate was the same, if you re-amortize it, that's going to lower their monthly payment. And lowering the monthly payment is oftentimes what most people
the motivation. Yeah, 100%. So you lower your rate, you lower your payment, you capture equity, there's a lot, and you can cash out. Right. So that cash out portion of it, right? I know that's there's some specifics to that, right? But it can be accomplished. Can you speak to that too? Yep. I know that's the dying question, right? Rate and payment for sure. But if I can cash out and I can do X, that becomes a more attractive solution too.
Yep. So the parameters around the cash out component are such that, if you don't do cash out, we can go up to 90% of the current appraised. Let's give you an example. If it's a non-cash out, say somebody owes $900,000 on their building and it appraises at $1 million. We can convert that into a new 504 structure. That's a 90% loan to value.
90%. That's wow. Yeah, I haven't heard anything better than that.
Yeah. If they want cash out, then the restriction or the LTV, the loan to value, goes to 85%. So they have to have a little more equity in the building if they want to do the cash out.
Okay.
The other parameter is that the amount of the cash out is limited to 20% of the current appraised value, which is still can be a pretty good chunk of cash out money. And the cash out is not just cash for them to use personally and go on trips and stuff. It has to be for the business, and we have to justify that business needs the cash, or there's some reasons that the business would benefit. The SBA is there to help the small business, and we want to give working capital if it's kind of tied up in a building and the business needs it. Well, then this is a great way to give that working capital to the small business owner.
100%. It doesn't seem like this. You would necessarily know this to be an option or have a lot of options once you're in a 7A, right? So this is the ideal. Granted, if you're in a traditional mortgage, I mean, you've never seen rates this low to enter that market, but I think this would be tremendous for anyone who's already currently in an SBA loan who didn't know that they could actually use this tool. So
for years and years and years, the general mantra was you can't refinance an SBA loan with another SBA loan. That was just kind of you can't do that. But that rule is now out the window.
Right. I feel like this is breaking news, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I
feel like we are breaking the news on this one.
There's so many small businesses out there that don't know about it. It is breaking news. I mean, it's I don't know, maybe 6 months old, 5 or so it's a few months for me and other C2C. So we're ready. The lenders are ready for these folks, but I don't think the vast majority of small business owners that have these 7A loans, I don't think that they know that they can refinance them.
Absolutely. That's what we're going to do over the next couple of weeks, especially going into the new year, wanting to shout this to the rooftops,
right? Yeah,
and everybody to know this. So we are absolutely going to prepare another guide to go along with this. It's a collaborative between TMC and CreditHub, so that way we can make sure that you guys have this information. It'll be located on TMC's website. We'll also share it on our website as well. But thank you so much, Kurt, for this. And